This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
That refresh you've been putting off until the right deal came along? It's here! Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale is happening now, so you can finally get the style you've been waiting for less. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday and July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome back to the Secret Passage podcast. I'm Dana Vespoli.
And I'm Gen X Jacky.
We're so happy you're joining us today as we dive into another bizarre, disturbing case, which is what we live for.
Understatement.
Today we are discussing, we're doing a two-parter. The name of this two-parter is Moms Behaving Badly. And today we will be discussing the case of Kendra Licari, which many of you are probably familiar with, the wildly successful Netflix documentary Unknown Number about Kendra Licari, the mother in Michigan who cyber bullied her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend over the course of almost 2 years. I think it was like a long stretch of time. And then, of course, we will be moving into our next episode next week that also deals with a mom behaving badly, putting her daughter in a lot of danger. But let's dive into today's case. We have a lot to discuss here. I became familiar with this case around the time it broke. Before the documentary, I saw it was a very short article about the fact that this former coach, high school coach, had been cyberbullying her own daughter. And there wasn't much information about it, just that she'd gotten in trouble, that she'd been arrested for this, but really nothing else. And I remember I was like, oh, this is crazy. Why would she do this? And like looking for information. And then I didn't find anything. And then all of a sudden this documentary came out with just quite a bit of information. And then a lot of articles. There's a really, really excellent article in New York Magazine by, I think the writer's name is Lauren Smiley. She talks about the case. It was just before I think the documentary came out with a lot of information. Without further ado, I'll just dive into the facts of the case, like a quick synopsis and then a little timeline of the case. And then we can get into the meat of it. So this case took place around 2021 in a little town called Beale City, Michigan. And I think that the size of this town is relevant to this case when you think about the impact that it had on not just the town, but even more so on the victims of the case. So Beale City, Michigan I'm trying to find the population. It is so small.
Beale City is an unincorporated community in Isabella County with only 332 residents as of 2020, the census in 2020.
Wow. Okay, yeah. And then
my high school class was bigger than that. Just like
I know my kid's elementary school was bigger than the population of that town. Yeah. And the school went from 6th grade through 12th grade. So Beale City is a little teeny tiny town, nothing to do. Like you would walk around the town. That's what you did. the town that had like one stoplight and maybe a general store. I don't know, but there's literally nothing to do. And so phones were a fixture. You would escape on your phone. You would communicate on your phone. You would watch shows on your phone, update to social media. Most of these kids were heavy social media users. So everyone was kind of glued to their phone. So people in the case, the mother and former school basketball coach, Kendra Licari, has a daughter, Lauryn Licari, Kendra's husband, Sean, and then Owen was Lauryn's boyfriend. They had been seeing each other since they were in junior high school, I think starting around 13. In 2021, Kendra Licari started using these burner apps to generate these untraceable phone numbers. And she began sending thousands of disturbing fucking messages to her daughter, her own daughter, and also her daughter's boyfriend, Owen. Keep in mind, these kids were 13, 14 years old. So early in 2021, Lauryn and Owen began dating. And it was shortly after this that they started receiving harassment via social media and text messaging. Around December, so like we're getting almost to the end of the year of 2021, the harassment was intensifying. And Kendra starts actively reporting this bullying to Beale City High School, right? And so she's positioning herself as like this mother, this caring, loving mother, just wringing her hands over just what is happening, who's doing this to my daughter and to Owen, and Owen's mother also, was freaking out. Who's doing this? Who is harassing my son and his girlfriend? And so Kendra and Owen's mother were bonding over this, and they'd get together and they would try and strategize how best to deal with what is happening to their kids. Around January of 2022, there was a meeting at Beale City High School with Owen's mother, Kendra. Owen's mom's name is Stephanie McKinney. So Stephanie and Kendra, go to the school and they want to discuss with the officials like that. Like, listen, there's a failure to stop the cyberbullying. Like, you guys, this is happening during school hours. You guys need to do something because this is terrifying. We're talking like upwards of 40 to 50 messages a day. Like, that means like their phones, like more often than not, the messages they're getting are from this person that's saying things like telling Lauryn, you're ugly, you're stupid. Owen doesn't really like you. He talks shit about you. You look like an anorexic toddler. Wow, nice job at your basketball game. You suck. Everyone on your team hates you. Fucking kill yourself. There were messages shaming her for not having sex with Owen, that this person. So the messages were positioned as though it's a girl, right? Because then the girl, quote unquote, like the bully, is essentially saying Owen and I are down to fuck. And then like gross details about how this person is going to give him BJs and let him do all these things to her. And that she's so much better than Lauryn. Keep in mind, Lauryn is like fucking like 13, 14 years old getting this. So anyway, Kendra and Stephanie again is Owen's mother. They're going to the school. They're saying, what the hell is going on? All of these things are happening on school property. You have to do something. You're not doing enough. The school, you could really see and in the documentary you see it too, they're just like, it's this little tiny fucking town, right? What are they supposed to do? And they're so you hear like in the documentary, just this earnestness. They're like, so, we have security cameras. And we told Lauryn, as soon as you get a text message, text us, and then we'll look at the video footage and see who happens to be on their phone at that time, and then we can go and look at their phones and see if it matches up. Anyway, so like obviously nothing's going to happen. Some of the proposed ideas that had been given to the school was like, why don't you just take the kids' phones away? And the teachers, and they're like, I think the superintendent's like, my phone is my office. And a lot of the kids are doing assignments like with their phones. We really can't do that. And then they started noticing certain things with the messages, like the messages to Lauryn or to Owen would say like bruh, like BRUH, bruh, you know, and there was this pattern of speech that seemed similar to another student named Chloe Wilson. Chloe Wilson's dad was in law enforcement. He was a sergeant. Chloe was on a lot of the teams. Like, so Lauryn was a very, very athletic kid, involved in so many sports. That was a lot of the focus of the town because there was nothing else. So they took their sports very seriously. And so everyone was at every game, and most of the kids were playing multiple sports. And Chloe was an athlete, a good friend of Owen's, not really a friend of Lauryn's, mostly a friend of Owen's. Chloe had a bit of a reputation of being kind of a mean girl or having had been a mean girl. I saw in some of the Reddit threads that a lot of the people, their focus was on what an asshole Chloe and her parents were in the documentary. And I was like,
I agree, though. I have to
really?
say.
Yeah. But I'm just like, with everything going on, why are you guys focusing on Chloe being an asshole? I mean, I don't know. I think the person that's texting kill yourself is the asshole. But yeah, Chloe
But
was...
it's a logical conclusion that people thought it was her because she
100%.
was pretty insufferable. Yeah.
Yes. No, I can see where they would think that. But also, Kendra, it seemed, was gearing up to kind of direct everybody's attention towards Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed as though there was a lot of intentionality with the way that she would use the kind of vernacular that Chloe used to kind of lead people astray. I think it's also should be noted that Kendra, being around so many of these kids, having been an assistant coach, whatever, very, very active in volunteering and being at the school, would become conscious of the way the kids had their speech patterns. So makes perfect sense that people would start to look at Chloe. Also, Chloe had at some point pretty innocent crush on Owen. Like nothing happened between them, but Owen even indicated that he and Chloe had kind of liked each other. So they started to zero in on Chloe. They took Chloe's phone, interviewed Chloe, interviewed her parents, and that didn't produce anything because obviously Chloe wasn't doing anything. There were some people wondering if somehow Lauryn was doing this to herself for attention. And then that cleared up. Around spring of 2022, the school, having exhausted their resources, conceded, okay, there's nothing that we can do. And so the Isabella County Sheriff's Office and the FBI took the case over, and they began tracking the digital footprint of the burner apps. And by May of 2022, investigators discovered that the IP addresses used to send the messages matched Kendra Licari's home and office. And they also found out that she was using a VPN to mask her location, but sometimes she forgot to turn it on. And so that provided a trail. She's busy. Come on, cut her some slack. I mean, it's exhausting. When you are harassing and egging your kid on to like kill themselves, you sometimes, between that and helping coach basketball. There's
and all the things that you can do in Beale City. I mean, yeah, you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed. Yeah.
She's busy. And all her jobs, she had all these jobs. We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
This woman was,
Yeah. Truthfully, I'm surprised that considering all of her energy was spent tormenting kids, you would think that she would be real careful with the VPN. Okay, so then in December of 2022, Kendra Licari is officially charged. The community, of course, was shocked, and they couldn't believe it because she was a concerned mother with all of this going on, calling up asking, do you guys know, or can you please update me? What's going on? Have there been any leads in this case? I'm so worried. I can't believe this is
I'm
happening.
so worried that you're going to figure out it's me.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't think it's me, right, guys? Like, you don't think so. So then December 2022 going into very early 2023, Kendra is charged with 5 counts, including stalking a minor, obstruction of justice, because she was trying to frame another student. Stalking a minor, obstruction of justice, among other things. In April of 2023, Kendra Licari pled guilty to 2 counts of stalking a minor. And then in May of 2023, Kendra Licari was sentenced to 19 to 60 months in prison. And during the sentencing, the judge noted the extraordinary cruelty of her actions. No shit. So she's out of prison now. She is out. I believe she is living with family in Michigan, but not in Beale City. But at this stage, Lauryn and Owen have graduated high school. They're both in college. Lauryn is studying criminology.
Good for her.
In college, yeah.
Does she talk to Kendra at all? Or is this a situation where it's just...
The last I checked, she hasn't. She's very careful. She says that she wants to have a relationship with her mother and that when she's ready to talk to her. So my understanding is she still hasn't. It's something that she's considering. She just wants to, I think, have time to establish healthy boundaries so that this can never happen again, right? So basically, I don't know what that would mean. It's interesting. I don't think that Kendra could do this again. One of the things that I wanted to discuss that is so strange that the documentary didn't really, it touched on it, but it didn't really go into it. And that is that even before these text messages started up, Kendra seemed to have a very inappropriate, unhealthy fixation on Owen McKenney, Lauryn's boyfriend. It's something that Stephanie McKenney and her husband Dave picked up on as well, that Kendra just would really try to insert herself going to Owen's games if Lauryn wasn't there, talking a lot to Owen. And Stephanie would put a stop to things like, no, we're not doing that. Like, I think Kendra wanted to join them on some sort of a travel game thing and turn it into a vacation. And Stephanie was like, no, that's not happening. So I don't know that Stephanie was conscious of the fact that oh, this woman seems to have this weird possible romantic fixation on my son. She just knew it felt weird. She just knew that she just didn't want Kendra there in that capacity. And
I think we give women way more grace, because if that was a dude, if some dude was like, I want to go to your softball game, we immediately would be, it's red flag, you're a pedophile, this is inappropriate. But with her, because she's a woman, and this is completely inappropriate in my opinion, any of this, but we kind of are more forgiving or trying to rationalize, oh, maybe she just wants to support him, or it's her girlfriend's boyfriend, sure, but that's no.
Yeah. And also trying to come up with excuses like, oh, well, she's maternal. Because Owen, it's so sad. God. Owen originally in the very beginning thought of Kendra as a maternal figure. Of course, she was 45 years old and he was 13, 14 years old. So, but then as time went on, so apparently in retrospect, when he was interviewed after the fact, he had said that looking back on it in hindsight, she was a little off. All of these text messages harassing Owen and Lauryn, Owen had said it's the harassment was 90% of why they ended the relationship, because it was driving a wedge between them. Lauryn, of course, was becoming paranoid. She keeps getting these text messages saying that Owen wants sex and wants it with this other person and that he's talking shit about me. Owen is getting tired of having to defend himself in this because, he's not doing anything. But also he is just hoping that maybe if they break up, these messages will just fucking stop. Spoiler alert, they didn't. I should say, when they broke up, he straight up switched schools. He was hoping that the text messages would stop. They did not. He started seeing a different girl, and then that girl started getting weird text messages. And so that happened. It's like as an offshoot. When the breakup happened, that Kendra basically caused, Kendra started calling Owen's mother and asking, do you think that down the line they'll get back together? Like fixating on the fact that their kids broke up and wanting to talk to Stephanie at length about it and see if they'll get back together. Stephanie's like, why do you care? They're fucking kids. Like, kids break up. Like, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's weird to like fixate. Oh, we've got to get them back together. Dude, they're kids. They're fucking kids. Even without like the text messages and all that, kids break up. It's not the end of the fucking world.
But in a small town where there aren't very many options, and I don't know how many people are moving out of Beale. What is it?
Beale City.
Yeah. I mean, is it because my mom grew up in a town that was exactly this size, and everybody kind of stayed there, married each other. So for Kendra, it could very well, and I'm not defending Kendra,
sure,
but be this situation of, well, they were, compatible and they would stay here and have a family. And so there is that possibility. It is a very tiny world that they live in. So this could have meant everything to her. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. It is weird then that she would break them up.
Yes,
like
it is. But that's the whole thing for me is what was the end goal? We know she's mentally very going through a lot, but what is the goal of this? Was it the attention? Was it to harm her daughter? Was it because she was obsessed with Owen? I mean, I don't really even understand what the point was other than amusement because she's bored.
She was lying to everybody, including her husband, not just about being behind all of this, but even before these text messages started. She was unemployed and they were broke and no one knew. She would come up with excuses and lies all the time. They were foreclosed on from one place. She was in charge of the finances. When her husband worked, she's the one that had access to the account. She was in charge of paying bills. She was in charge of paying mortgage. She was in charge of everything. The impression I have is that she was the bigger earner because she worked in IT for a college, a university. She had a couple jobs. She legitimately did. The problem is she would get fired because she would be on her phone and not doing her job.
Because she had she had to text her daughter. And
yeah, I mean, she had shit to do, guys. Like, fucking come on. So Kendra had a lot of her lies seem to be rooted in appearing as though she had a higher status, right? And Beale City is a town where it feels like a clique. Like it feels like in some ways the town itself was a bit of a clique. And she was an outsider. She was from I think closer to Detroit, Michigan. Got married. Her husband was from Beale City. I think he had been from there. So they ended up relocating back there. So she didn't have strong ties there the way that everyone there had strong ties with one another. Mm-hmm. So the Licari family seemed to be appearing to be living a comfortable middle-class life, didn't quite align with their actual income. Kendra was really fixated on her daughter being popular, hanging out with the town's elite kids. I think there was a pattern of overspending, a pattern of living beyond their means. In her work, they had tried to put her on a success plan. Hey, we need to do some things because your job is in jeopardy, and let's get you on kind of this plan to improve, like a performance improvement plan. So her last job was trying to work with her, and then she quit before that could happen because I think that probably would have meant so we're going to take your phone away so that you can focus on your job. I'm assuming that's probably why she ended up quitting. She told her husband that she quit because she got a better job. So this whole time, her husband thinks that she's working. She's not working. They had a home that foreclosed. And what she told her husband was that there was a problem with the foundation of the house or something. It was that there was a problem with the house and that they were going to need to relocate. There was always an excuse. They were evicted from one place. She claimed that it was a misunderstanding. Everything was a misunderstanding. She would bounce checks. Oh, my accounts were hacked. Someone broke into my accounts. There was always an excuse. And then they would just keep kind of moving from place to place. It's weird that her husband had no idea that they were in a massive financial crisis. But at the same time, I feel like he was kind of one of those like simple dudes that just would go to work at his job, come home. He wants to see his daughter. He wants to hang out with Kendra's excuses, and probably her amazing acting ability of being able to just play it off. He bought it.
But I still am confused. What is the goal? I mean, aside from the fact that this woman is a pathological liar, what is the point?
So here's my theory.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious what you think, because to me, I'm like, I don't get it.
I think as evidenced by the fact that she would do things like get fired or quit jobs and just lie about things. I don't think she's thinking beyond the moment. I think that the end goal is the feeling of getting attention. I think she was an attention-seeking freak. I think when there's a crisis, it's a distraction, and then she gets a lot of attention. She had a lot of behavioral quirks that indicate that she was just somebody who was attention-starved. She would like do weird shit, like do cartwheels down the hall, be super loud and gregarious. I think surrounding herself with like the basketball kids and stuff and coaching gave her that sense of being among youth and being the cool teacher, being in a position of authority where she calls the shots and people go to her. And I think she just really liked attention. And then I think that having all of this attention placed on her daughter, and then by extension her, gave her a feeling of being important, because this made Lauryn and Owen and then Kendra the center of attention. I think the end goal, I don't even think she was thinking about the end goal. I think she was thinking about the right now, I'm getting attention right now. Because yeah, any idiot would look at her and go, do you understand you have no job? You had a house that was foreclosed on. You're bouncing checks. You're this fucking close to having your marriage blow up.
Everything.
Because your husband's going to find out that you've been lying this whole fucking time. It's like the addiction of like, I imagine like a frog jumping from lily pad to lily pad. And as it starts to sink, he jumps to the next one. That starts to sink, jumps to the next one. If she was just essentially putting everything off, and then it's like, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with the job thing later. I'll clear up this other thing later. Right now, everybody is calling me about the fact that Lauryn's being harassed. So I'm going to run to the school now and stand before the board and just wring my hands and just talk about my poor little girl who is doing this to her, and just get that fix of attention like a drug addict. I guess we could look at these moms with like Munchausen by proxy who are making their kids sick. Is the end goal that they want their kid to die? Like, do they want their kid to die? Is that why they keep like,
no,
poisoning their child?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think that is the end goal. I think it's exactly what you said, where it's like, keep them sick but still alive, so the attention will always be there, because once the kid's dead, okay, then the attention will dissipate at some point after the funeral, after the grieving process, and then what? There is no other lily pad after a child is buried.
Yeah.
So, but you mentioned the Munchausen thing, and you had told me about this Munchausen by proxy internet thing.
Yeah,
right?
The cyber Munchausen by proxy, a digital form of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, also referred to as cyber Munchausens.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so she creates a crisis to make her daughter dependent on her for comfort and protection. Well, and then ironically, it's now she doesn't have a relationship with her daughter. I wonder, so when you think about like Munchausen syndrome by proxy, I know that they call it something fictitious disorder, but I like saying Munchausen.
Yeah, me too.
And like, why is it not politically correct? Is
I don't
Wisman chosen
know
a bad
why
guy?
it
Like,
changed.
yeah, I don't understand. But I've always known it as that. So
Yeah.
eventually the child will die, right? With the hospital constant. I mean, a lot of times, like when you keep a child sick enough, eventually they can succumb to, and they die. And then there's a whole lot of attention on the grieving mother, right?
Initially, yeah.
Initially the funeral. And then when that wears off, it's just a thing. Like, does it become a cycle where then the mother goes and has another baby and then repeats the process in perpetuity?
I mean, just like an addiction, I would assume that there would need to be something else. And then does it become not by proxy that it's just on themselves? I mean, that's another possibility.
Because it's one of the things that struck me with this case is that, I mean, naturally, Kendra is the one perpetrating these messages, like doing all of this. But a lot of the other parents and teachers and things like that in the town were so worried that Lauryn might actually hurt herself because of these messages and the fact that these messages were then urging her to kill herself. And these statements were being made to Kendra, like Lauryn could kill herself, like Lauryn might hurt herself. Like that's a thing that happens. We see it with bullying. It was all over the news with kids being harassed and then the outcome being suicide. And Kendra's the one perpetrating this. Did she want Lauryn to kill herself? Did some part of her want her daughter to kill herself? Like, I wonder.
I mean, God, I have to think this level of cruelty to me is just insane. Like, I can't even comprehend because it's not somebody that's not your blood. It's your own child that you're being this cruel to. It's just such a hard thing to wrap your brain around because you think if it's your child and you're saying you should kill yourself, there is, like you said, a great possibility that that will happen. So I would have to say, I believe that would not be the worst thing for Kendra.
Yeah.
And then the second part of this is I think to myself, how does Lauryn recover from the person who's supposed to be your greatest protector, the person that's always supposed to be the one that did send those texts, that did tell you to kill yourself? That's your own mother, your own mom.
Yeah. And they were very, very close. I mean, that's the thing, too, is like Lauryn was so close to her mother. And that's the thing that's really crazy. I'm sure that Kendra sat there and watched her daughter cry and ask, why is this happening to me? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like her vulnerable child. And it's like Kendra could have made it stop at any point. Kendra could have saved face and just stopped. And she didn't. She kept fucking going. And there was any point she could have just stopped. And she didn't.
Yeah, there's a lack of empathy there that is definitely, there's something very deeply wrong with her because, you know, just looking at an outsider crying is hard enough, but your own child being in this desperate state, I mean, desperate, doesn't know what to do. Even the girls were being mean and thought it was her, and then she's getting that blame, and then she's losing the guy that she cares about. All of this happening, and you're right, she doesn't stop because if it stops, what's the next dopamine hit that she gets? Like, what is the next thing? There isn't. Oh, this one actually is hitting me a lot harder than I thought because I think it's just, it is so cruel in a different, it's not catfishing a stranger, which again, still fucked up and wrong. This is your own child and you're witnessing the despair and you continue to do it. That.
Exactly.
Yeah. Was this the harshest sentence that could have been handed down?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think because it was such a unique case.
Right. Where do we go? Like, what is
Yeah,
it? Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know the law, but, it's the money for resources to try and figure out what's going on. So, like, that. But, like, lying to people isn't a crime. Nobody did kill themselves. Thank God.
Right.
So it's just stalking and harassment, which people never get charged with that. So,
Right.
like, I mean, maybe they were handing her the book. I don't know. This is when people make posts on Instagram about Happy Mother's Day, all mothers are wonderful. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not all wonderful. Kendra Licari is not wonderful.
When I saw the documentary, I was screaming at the TV when she was hugging Lauryn.
Oh my God. That was probably the most disturbing part, because imagine Lauryn. I mean, I would not want to be anywhere near her. And she's, clinging to her after the revelation hits.
And Lauryn is just sitting there like this.
Yes, stunned. She's in shock.
And I the way too that like,
oh God,
it's so fascinating watching police body cam footage and the way that she's reacting. And it's so annoying because they're like, so basically paraphrasing, but this is what we need to seize your phones because X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And she's sitting there and she's all, okay, yeah. Oh.
For those that don't have this on video, Dana looks exactly like her.
Yeah. Like Quasimodo. That's what I saw. So many memes when the documentary came out and they were like, tell me why Kendra Licari looks like Donkey from Shrek. And then somebody's like, or Quasimodo, the Disney Quasimodo. She's like all teeth and mouth. Right. And I know I shouldn't make fun of the way she looks, but like,
but it is easy to, I feel bad too, because that's cruel. But at the same time, she deserves the cruelty. I'm just going to say.
Also, it's like, imagine who would do this crime. And then you see a picture of Kendra and you're like, makes perfect sense. She just looks like she would be like the person that would perpetrate this would look like Kendra Licari. And she's like so whiny, like she's very whiny when the police are talking to her. And then the way that she just casually, like her husband comes in and he finds out in that moment that she doesn't have jobs. Like she's unemployed. She's been unemployed for like a year. They have no fucking money, that basically his income that he's working hard for is the only income.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just, he's like, wait a minute. So you don't have any jobs? And she's like, no. Yeah.
There
ridiculous.
Was such a bizarre disconnect in Kendra from emotion, and maybe she has some sort of disassociative, because she wasn't, again, another person not diagnosed with anything. And I don't even think they tried to plead some sort of disorder, right? I mean, she just accepted the deal, or was it a plea deal? It didn't go to a jury, right? I mean,
there was no jury. Yeah. She was like, I mean, at that point, she read a statement that she's apologized. She was bawling through the whole thing. I'm like, you're crying because you got caught. I don't think that there was any remorse. I don't think someone like her is capable of any remorse.
I don't. Yeah, she has no empathy for her own child, so she certainly would not have remorse. I mean,
or her husband, like no one, like her husband now is responsible for the fact that like there's eviction records that he's attached to, debt, a ton of debt that he probably wasn't aware of. I know a lot of people were like, how does he not know? He's dumb, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, a lot of couples function this way.
Yeah, there are there are a lot of people that do and keep separate finances and really have no concept of what's going on.
I think he's just incredibly naive. Apparently he would like show up at work and be like, yeah, it's crazy. Someone hacked into the accounts and da-da-da-da-da. And like his coworkers are like side-eyeing each other because they're just like, that doesn't sound right. But he's like just blindly believing his wife because probably he's not a finance guy. And she seemed, again, on the face of it, like the one that would be in charge of the accounts, that is tech savvy, that is able to do all these things, had like office jobs. He was more like getting your hands dirty kind of jobs. And it worked for them because he's like, cool, you take, I don't want to take care of it. If you're taking care of it, I mean, that's how I am. I'm like, I don't like numbers. If I can avoid it, I will. Yeah. But yeah, like just the absolute lack of empathy for everyone involved. Also, here's the thing too. Why your own kid? Why not Stephanie McKinney? Why not harass her?
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Just like you said, it's the Munchausen by proxy thing, because that person's too far removed.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's right.
she's
That's right.
getting the attention. So I
Right.
just, to me, like just even hurting somebody kills me. Like it just,
Yeah.
I cannot stand hurting people. But God forbid it's somebody I love. I mean, that to me, the fact that there's just your own child and the sexual things with the boyfriend is a whole
Ugh.
other, are we thinking that this is like a Mary Kay Letourneau type situation?
So here's the thing that's interesting with the Mary Kay thing, is I wouldn't consider her a classic
Pedophile?
pedophile. Um, I think that her fixation was solely on Billy Falau. I think
Yes.
he was her only. I think she had clearly an unhealthy fixation with him.
Mm.
He was underage, so like, of course, I mean, he
Yeah.
was a literal child.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if it was his age and his youthfulness that was the thing, that the primary thing. When I think of pedophiles, I think that they're literal children and that it's them being children is the draw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because there were no other victims with Mary Kay. I think that her situation is just is
Unique.
very unique.
Yeah.
But with Kendra, I see where you're going with this. Let's say that she had gotten Owen alone and somehow Owen made the first move. Would
Mhm.
she have gone along with it?
I think she would have.
I feel like she would have as well.
Yeah.
So I think there was a whole host of shit going on with her. And
Wasn't she claimed that she had survived sexual abuse or assault or something? Did you?
oh, I saw that and I couldn't find anything else beyond the fact that she stated that that is something that she had survived. There's no more information about it. It's
Mhm.
hard to know with her because she's
Yes,
a
again,
pathological liar.
This is like Jodi Arias. It's like,
Yeah.
was she beat up by her, boyfriend? Did her parents abuse her? Who knows? Because you lie. So again, when you're a pathological liar, we'll never know what your truth is. What I had seen about Kendra was that she said that she had endured some sort of sexual abuse, and that was why she did this to her daughter. This was her explanation that I read, was because it happened to her when she was just becoming a woman, and so her daughter is becoming a woman, and so she was trying to protect her. I don't see how any of this is protection. Like in any
driving
weird
your
warped,
kid to, yeah.
kill themselves or lose their relationship, unless it was like, again, I'm not trying to defend her. I'm trying to understand her. Did she create this breakup so it would protect her daughter from having sex? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, and her daughter was what, 13? I mean, I know kids have sex at young ages, but seems a little young.
And also, I got the impression I had from both Lauryn and Owen is that they were not those types of kids. They weren't party kids. They weren't experimenting with drugs and alcohol. It was literally this innocent kind of, we hold hands. Maybe we've kissed each other. Like they just seemed incredibly wholesome and very focused. Like both of them are in college now and I think still doing sports. They were very goal-oriented sports kids, probably like really innocent by today's standards.
Yeah.
They're not like, Skylar Niece's friends that were like partying, doing drugs,
smoking
having
weed,
sex.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing. That was not these kids. So it makes it extra horrifying to receive these text messages mocking the fact that you're a virgin, mocking the fact that you're not sex. That's the thing is with Kendra, it doesn't make any sense because you're driving your daughter to have sex by telling her that she's a prude and all that kind of stuff. You're threatening her academic performance by telling her she's stupid. You're telling her she's a horrible athlete.
And she's anorexic.
And that she's anorexic. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? That just seems like a very, very sick person.
The duality point is interesting to me because, I think we as just air quotes normal people, to be able to hold your child who's crying and then go and text and tell your child they're ugly, they're anorexic, they're not sexy, whatever. they're almost existing on two completely different spheres. It would be interesting to find out if there was some sort of personality disorder with her. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's
Yeah.
like checked out and that, like multiple personalities or something. I don't know, because it's odd that one isn't seemingly talking to the other, one version of Kendra.
Right.
And to me, the only version we believe is the cruel version, to be honest, because the rest feels like an act to me, unless it's some personality disorder.
And she has no remorse, even in the documentary.
Yeah.
She calls it a mistake. She's like, well, we all make mistakes. Sometimes people I forgot. She used like her analogy. Her analogy was so stupid.
Oh,
It was something like, she called if you drive drunk.
Okay.
That okay, so, let's say you drive drunk. That's a mistake. And I'm like, you literally harassed, threatened, degraded, stalked children for well over a year. That's not a mistake. That's a choice that you made, and you kept doing it relentlessly, 40, 50 messages a day.
Yeah.
You quit jobs, you lost jobs because you couldn't fucking stop doing it. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. That's a lifestyle choice you made. You didn't run a red light. You didn't accidentally get into your car and drive home after one too many beers. Like, she's equating what she did with something that's could be a one-off,
Her emotional maturity really does lend itself to being childish in everything she's doing, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we talked about this, like how we would, maybe we're mean girls at some point, or we did things, or we hung out with the wrong people. And the fact that the harassment very much sounds like a teenager, in the sense of, it's not some adult criticism or bullying sounding, and I know she's trying to get on the persona of a teenager. I get that. But in the aftermath, her reaction is also like a teenager, whereas an adult can reflect and obviously not equate this to being a mistake. They can see that, hopefully you wouldn't do this to begin with, but you see, oh my God, I've literally traumatized my child, another child, and I've disrupted the trust in this entire town. And your reaction is it's a mistake, sounds like what a child would say. So I'm wondering if there's something else too. I mean, maybe there was trauma. It really does sound like there was something very traumatic in Kendra's life that maybe we don't know. Again, not empathizing. I'm just saying what it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I always, with these cases, I always want to find compassion somewhere. Again, not excusing anything that happened, but just trying to understand, how does someone do something so terrible, right?
Yeah.
The thing that's so unsettling, though, and it just, her willingness to take part in this documentary and then just not speak really frankly, to there's no growth. There's absolutely no growth when this documentary came out last year. So she had some time because obviously she's out of prison. And I just don't see any kind of reflection, any kind of growth after the fact.
There's zero shame.
Yeah, no
There's
shame.
no shame. And that's what to me is just the fact that you would participate. I think if I did this, I never would do something like this, but I think I would never want to be seen in public. Ever. I wouldn't want anyone to know who I am. So that's the other aspect of this that's fascinating, because it's you're going on a Netflix documentary, which millions of people are going to see. You know how the internet is, Miss Tech Savvy Kendra. So you know that you're going to be on Reddit posts and Instagram stories and TikTok all over the place. And you are not ashamed to show your face is proof that you don't regret. You know what I'm saying? It's such a bizarre mentality that, I cannot imagine being willing to participate in something if I did something really fucking horrible.
Unless you're getting attention. And that's all she wants. And this is like the best kind of attention. This is like nationwide.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. You're right. Netflix.
Yeah.
Worldwide attention. Everyone gets as long as there's attention. It's like at any cost, right? The attention at any cost, at the cost of her daughter's mental health, the possibility of her daughter taking her own life if things got too bad. Owen losing friends, her marriage.
Everything.
Just blowing everything up as long as there's attention. And that's the terrifying, like really chilling part of this is that clearly she hasn't gotten better. She hasn't gotten help. Or if she's getting help, it's clearly not adequate, or she's not taking full use of the kind of help out there that would get to the bottom of whatever this is. I think her only remorse and the only reason she cried when she was reading her victim impact statement, whatever, and
she did a victim impact, or it was
sorry.
I was like, you ain't victim, Kendra.
Yeah, no, I meant the statement to the victims. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yes,
I'm sure
no victim.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd love to. I mean, she was living for that, being a victim. But the only reason why she cried is because she got caught. That's the only reason why she cried. If she had done the Netflix documentary thing, and when she was talking, if she had said like the only reason why I'm here is I want to say, and then just very sincerely talked about the regret that she's sick, that she knows she needs help, that she is actively trying to get help, that she recognizes that Lauryn will probably never want to speak to her again, that she, something where she is just really speaking from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't do that. She downplays it. She's like, mistake.
I have this visual of like Heath Ledger in Joker, or not the Joker, whatever it was called, Batman, or whatever movie he was in, where he's as the Joker is walking away and like the bus or whatever is exploding.
Yes.
And like that's her. Like just utter satisfaction over this. But you had said earlier, do you think she would do this again? Because initially you said no, but I think she will do this in some form.
She'll find another way. She will have to find. So I think the Netflix documentary was one way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's got to find another way now, because that's a hard one to top.
Yeah.
It really, and it does seem like everything is progressively up to the ante, which we're going to talk about the Mary Scheer case or whatever next week. But she actually does seem ashamed. She didn't want to be involved with any interview or anything like that. Yeah. So they are very different personalities. I mean, right? Because I don't think you can be Kendra and just go back to life.
Yeah, not if you are not actively trying to do better.
Right, but you said she's not. I mean,
I don't think
she got any help. I'm going to Google.
I don't know. I hope so. No. This is what I think. If she hasn't gotten help, if she is not actively, recognizing the destruction that she caused, I could see her becoming like a Tommy Montgomery. I could see her getting behind. I could see her catfishing. I could see her trying to blow up marriages and relationships. I could see her going into chat rooms, creating fake profiles, and doing shit that way. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she's doing now. Just has a bunch of accounts pretending to be different people. Again, I don't know. I hope not, but she's past the point of like childbearing age. I don't know if she could find anybody to marry her and have kids anyway, to be able to exploit her own child. So maybe she goes online and pretends like she's an 18-year-old cheerleader.
I feel like she is dangerous though with children. Extremely dangerous with children. And I am stunned that, because my understanding is that, I know you can't send photos to underage kids, obviously, but I'm saying, can you send sexually explicit texts to a minor? And how is that not a charge?
That is a really good point. I think maybe, so there were 5 charges against her, and then the two of them actually she got the stalking and the other thing. But one of those charges, I couldn't see what exactly they were. One of them maybe was that.
Yeah, because that to me is all of it is very serious, but like she is a danger if she's sending sexually explicit things to minors. This is not just a crazy stalker, evil mom. I mean, she is dangerous because the fact that she somehow thought it was okay, that would scare me. She should be on the sex offender registry. I'm sorry, she should be.
I'm surprised. Yeah. And the thing is we're not unique in that perspective. I've seen a lot of people posting like, why wasn't, how come no one's talking about this? And it did feel like Netflix kind of coasted over that.
Yeah.
And some of the theories are that to get Kendra to agree to be a part of the documentary.
But it's just like you said, I don't think she cared. She just wanted to be part of it. I can't imagine, because she looked bad just as it was without all this information. She looked absolutely horrible as a human being. And she agreed to do it.
Yeah. She's like, what's that? Attention? Woohoo! Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. And her husband, you see him like, it's like he's rapidly going through, the stages of grief. Like you see it in like the body cam footage. His reaction.
Oh my God.
And he was so, you see like the way he handled it. You see that this is a good guy because he is just like, you need to go. I don't know what I'm going to do if you continue to stand in this house. Go to your parents' house. I don't care. I need you to leave right now. Like, and he's so measured in the way he's speaking to her. And then she's clinging to Lauryn as though she hasn't destroyed her daughter's fucking life. Yeah. I don't want to leave her. I love her. I'm like, really? And I'm like yelling at the TV. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, Quasimodo, you fucking freak. I was like just yelling.
She's so easy to hate. Listen, here, there is a change.org. Okay, trying to get Michigan law to charge her with sending sexually explicit messages to minors. So there are people. It says the petition calls on Michigan prosecutors and relevant authorities to revisit this case and bring appropriate sexual offense charges. Sexual exploitation, the grooming of minors must be treated with the full weight of the law. And I 100% agree.
100%. Grooming is, yes, because it's like, what was she trying to do in making Lauryn feel bad for not having sex with Owen? Like, what was the goal there in that instance? What was she going to do if Lauryn came home crying because she had sex with Owen and didn't feel ready? She and Owen feel weird. What if Lauryn ended up pregnant? Like there's all of these things. What if Lauryn then suddenly became really promiscuous and,
more attention. More attention.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what am I going to do? Lauryn is pregnant. I don't understand how this happened. Yeah. I don't know. My daughter's like sexually promiscuous now. And it's because these text messages urging her to have sex before she was ready. I don't know. I'm going to call up Owen and see if he wants to meet in my car at a deserted parking lot to discuss this. Like,
I love that you're rubbing your hands together to like some bad soap opera actor. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm so overcome with grief. Yeah. She's
the worst.
So awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this leads us into our next case, which we will be discussing next week, the Tall Hot Blonde case, which is the case of Thomas Montgomery and Mary Shearer, right?
Shearer.
Yeah. I think, yeah. More weird grooming, cyber crap, weird, bizarre, no identity. Like I've got so many thoughts on Thomas Montgomery, and like I'm still trying to fucking wrap my brain around him.
I don't know how we're going to do it in one episode, but we can try. I also have that case is bonkers. I don't want to compare apples and oranges, but yeah. I was just going to say, I think Kendra is still worse. Well, I'll just leave it at that, and I can expand on that. I mean, obviously, a murder happened, and that is, but that it has nothing to do with the other mother.
No, but
the other mother is, yeah.
Yeah, Kendra could still be a danger.
Yes. Whereas the other,
that's
yes. Yeah.
The other ones are not.
I don't think he probably would have committed another murder. He should be spending the rest of his life in jail. But the mother, Mary, I don't know if she's really as dangerous as Kendra.
Yeah, and I'll give Mary credit for one thing. When Thomas went off the rails and started talking about wanting to commit violence, she cut him off.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get into that next week.
Yes.
For those of you that are like, what are you guys talking about?
Watch the documentary, guys, Tall Hot Blonde, if you can. It is on Amazon Prime, I think.
Yeah, I saw it on Amazon Prime. It was really well done. It was actually really, really well done. All right, gang. This concludes this episode. Please join us next week as we continue Moms Behaving Badly. We appreciate you. Please follow us on Instagram at Secret Passage Podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Secret Passage Podcast. You can also email us at secretpassagepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you have corrections, ideas for new episodes. Please
leave us
rate
a
us
5 stars. Yeah, 5-star review, please.
5-star review, please. We think you're awesome for doing that. Thank you. All right. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.